like let's say I have an adolescent, baseball player, for example. The first session, I usually like to meet the parents if possible, because I like to know, I look at the family as like a team. And so everyone's kind of feeding off on each other. So I like to look at the communication between the parents and the child. And sometimes even the parents' background in sports. I've seen that happen where the parents, maybe their dreams didn't come true, or they can be pushing their, So the first session, I usually like to meet the parent with the child and the adolescent, and then I usually give an assessment to the adolescent to figure out what their motivation in the sport is. Why are they participating in the sport? Is it for fun? Is it for scholarship? Is it for social reasons? To really explore their motivation and what pressures they're going through, whether it's themselves or they feel pressure from parents or coaches or opponents, who are their role models, whether they're burnt out. And so they're filling that out. So basically that's the initial session. And then I meet with the parents, and then I meet with the athlete. And the first session is really an information gathering session and a rapport building session, because I want someone to feel comfortable working with me. And so after the first session, I get all the assessment, and then we're going to decide, okay, when we're going to meet next and what we're going to really work on together. And the two biggest psychological skills with athletes that need to be worked on is confidence building and anxiety management. I mean, those are two of the major ones. But of course, learning what to focus on is very important. Your attention concentration. I do a lot of goal setting. I have athletes do outside readings, or actually, or they journal, where they journal their performances and they have dates to see their improvement over time. So I take a very active approach, and I expect that for my athletes to improve, is they really needed to have an active approach. We're really working on their mental game. The greatest part of what I do is that the results can happen very quickly. I mean, very quickly. If I get a motivated athlete and they trust me in my tools, then I've had parents after a session say, "Wow, they did better, and they've improved their performance." So it doesn't necessarily have to take a year or 2 years. The greatest thing also is I'm an advocate for the parents. So a lot of parents, like after a game, they don't know what to say to their kids after a game of practice. Like, how'd you do? They just don't know how to approach the athlete. And so I kind of give parents tips or communication tips on how to talk more effectively to their athletes. And the athlete is actually really excited, because they sometimes wish their parents sometimes would maybe back off a little bit or approach them differently. And so I kind of am an advocate for the athlete and the parent as well. And then also I'm an advocate for coaches, or I talk to coaches sometimes on how to get more from their athlete as well. I work with the communication piece between the athlete and the parent as well. First session is kind of an information rapport building session, but the improvement can happen, like I said, pretty quickly. It really also depends on the athlete as well.